This week we've got hot new tech from Flanders, plus casual clothing for cyclists who like to remain, well, understated, I guess.
Plus, the bike that's going to be used in next week's hour record attempt.
And all the usual favourites. Right, first up this week then, let's talk about some tech being used in Flanders. But sadly, well, neither of us there were on the ground, were we? Because, well, our mate Lloydie was there, but, well, who knows what he was getting up to.
Old photo, used to take pride of place in the dining room, but now it's in a sort of back corridor on the way to the toilets.
Firstly, we've got the bike here of Mads Pedersen, and he was apparently the only rider to be using the new 1x SRAM Red Access group set. How cool does that look? His single chain ring at the front.
Yeah.
But interestingly, he also had a chain catcher fitted to that as well.
Yeah, he's a big fan of that 1x group set. I did hear on a podcast, I think. No, that chain catcher presumably is there really just to help as a secondary measure in case the chain was to dislodge with the rigours of tough pro racing.
Yeah, and cobbles.
Exactly, those Cassé, it's pretty rough out there, but it's nowhere near as rough as, well, Roubaix, what's coming up this weekend, so I'm looking forward to seeing if anyone else will be using 1x in that race. Now, Mads and a couple of his teammates were also spotted on board of a pretty cool painted Trek Madame, weren't they?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, they were using that back in Ghent-Wevelgem as well, and, well, who knows if we'll see it again this season.
Yeah, I kind of want that paint job.
Yeah, it's nice.
Same with the Trek guys, though, for now. The bike of Edward Turns had blip shifters on it, on the drops. Interesting though, in like a sort of trigger position.
Yeah.
On the drops there.
Cav has that on his bike now, actually, with the Shimano ones. Yeah. Now, that got me thinking, who else has had this done? So I had a good old stalk around looking at the Trek guys to see if anyone else had them there. And, well, check this out. Really close up on the bike of John Degenkolb, it looks like he's got a set of Shimano sprint shifters, but wired up to his SRAM group set.
You can do that?
Yeah, I know it's possible because Marcel Kittel's bike, when I took a look at that, he did exactly the same on his. And I know basically you just splice the wires into it and it works A-OK.
Cross-pollination, like interbreeding of group sets.
Maybe I should do it for Maintenance Monday, or is it a bit niche?
A bit niche.
All right, yeah, I won't bother with that for the time being.
Nicky Terpstra, the 2018 winner of Flanders, took to the cobbles on, well, a rather beautiful bike, a brand new Wilier Cento 10 Air, and the fork looks like it's been hydro-dipped with this chrome cobbled pattern on there. It looks absolutely banging. Unfortunately, crashed it though. But
yeah, bad luck for that guy. Yeah, now Wilier, they love to show off like that chrome-style paintwork, don't they? Who can forget King of Bling, Pipo Pizzato?
Yeah, he had some very bling.
He always had really cool ones, didn't he? Now, sticking with Nicky Terpstra momentarily, well, he also had some really nice-looking Roka sunglasses as well, with a cobbled-style effect, just really understated.
You reckon they were hydro-dipped as well?
Gotta be, yeah. Unless, I mean, to paint those by hand, that's going to be pretty tough, isn't it? And the edges, they were too precise, I reckon. Certainly for our shaky hands. Either way, sadly, yeah, Nicky is out of the Classics campaign because I do believe he suffered from concussion. So, yeah, there we are. Maybe we can have his glasses. It's worth asking, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, more tech later. Now, Victor Campenaert will be attempting to break the world hour record in just under a week's time. And for doing that, well, he's going to need a pretty special bike. So he's got this Ridley Arena TT bike, which is essentially the track-going version of the Dean Fast time trial bike.
Yeah, he's not just got a special bike, his bike's got a special name too. Now, I think it's widely regarded these days that the best way to come up with a name for something is to ask the internet.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, because the internet never lies, does it?
Well, Ridley did exactly that, and apparently Belgians voted overwhelmingly for the name, do you know what it is?
No.
The Flying Mustache.
Right, okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
What's all that about then?
Well, I don't know. If I don't get it.
No,
if anyone watching knows why it's called the Flying Mustache or Moustache, then let us know in the comments. I thought that the Flying Moustache was Norway's Robert Johansson, the Olympic gold medal winning ski jumper.
Yeah, I thought it was Eddy the Eagle Edwards, actually, Gloucester's finest ski jumper.
A fine athlete.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I'm just disappointed that it's not called Bikey McBikeface, but
Right, moving away from Bikey McBikeface then, let's talk about the Cockpit, because that's really interesting, isn't it? Because Ridley have actually manufactured him a special pair of, well, tri-bar extensions, if you like, so they match the curvature of his forearm, so when he's down there in his aero position, he's not going to be losing any time. And I think even Ridley now have to offer that as part of their service so they can meet the UCI's requirements.
Yeah, that thing about equipment being available to you or I.
Tick a box there, haven't you?
Yeah, also the bars are really narrow, it's quite cool. So the base bar is just 33 centimetres wide. Now, that's because having a narrower bar reduces your frontal area and it makes the bike more aerodynamic. The disadvantage of having a narrower bar though is that you have less leverage and less stability when you're on that bar and riding out the saddle. But Campenaert's is only going to be out the saddle on that base bar, if it goes to plan, for the first 15 seconds. And then the remaining 59 minutes 45 seconds will be spent on those tri-bars. So it's a trade-off, but they consider it worth it.
Yeah. Right, on some more other cool details then, because Ridley are using a textured surface on certain key areas of the bike. Now they call it F Surface Plus, and they use that on all their aero bikes currently too.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. So it's a similar principle to how the dimples on a golf ball work. You've got the grooves and the textured surface in key locations on the frame. And what they, in theory, do is enable the boundary layer of airflow to become turbulent. And that having that layer turbulent helps the main airflow, well, it's more easy for it to follow the lines and shapes of the tubes and, well, reduce drag.
And of course, if he wants to go fast, he needs to get his gearing right. And well, it's pretty important on a track bike, isn't it?
We only have one.
Yeah. Now we're told that Campenaert hasn't decided on his final gear choice as of yet, because, well, anything can happen on the day, can't it? The weather conditions, also how he feels. But get this, if everything goes to plan, he wants to be using 59.14 as his gearing option. And well, he's gonna have to pedal at over 100 revs a minute to break the hour record.
Yeah, I saw his target cadence was planned to be 105 RPM. That's pretty punchy, isn't it?
Yeah, that is looking to go. So.
But I guess he knows his body and knows what he's capable of. But yeah, he's looking to spin to win. And also the other interesting thing is that he's going for a road chain on his bike rather than a track chain, which is a wider gauge, heavier chain. A road chain is thinner and lighter than a track chain. And the thinking behind this is that it is more efficient in terms of drivetrain efficiency, and there's a small watt saving to be made. But Wiggins and Dowsett both used road chains in their successful attempts as well.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it's slightly more aerodynamic too. I don't reckon you could measure that, though, could you?
No.
Right. What about his tyres then? Because we're both, well, tyre perverts, aren't we?
So he's gone for Vittoria Pista Speeds, which are, well, the choice of the track pursuiter these days and our record champions. But the ones he's got are special. They're apparently even faster than the standard Vittoria Pista Speed because they're gold.
I'm not sure if it's because they're gold, because the gold one's been around for a while.
Yeah, but anything gold is faster.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Like chains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember, actually, there was some Dugas tyres out there that had a lifetime of about 100 kilometres, because they're so thin, the tread on
Is it because they were gold?
No, they were pink. Yeah, to clean them with vinegar and stuff like that to make them stick to the boards. Anyway, all that geekiness aside, these ones are 22 millimetres in width, which, well, at first I thought that's a bit wide, really, because just go 19s, but I guess it's to marry up the Campenaert Ghibli disc
Maybe,
wheels,
yeah, we speculate that. Also, rolling resistance will be lower.
Yeah.
They've probably done some maths and worked this out.
Yeah, more than we've done.
Other bling bits fitted to Campenaert's bike include Sea-Bear ceramic bearings fitted throughout. He's also got Look Keo blade pedals and Campagnolo SRM cranks.
Of course, he can't look at his power readings, can he, whilst he's riding along there, because the UCI don't permit that on the track, let alone an hour record.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that. So a lot of top coaches and pros say that the best athletes totally can just go ride on feel and they don't need to see the numbers. But when Dowsett did the hour record, because they'd had all these gains and things fitted to his bike and he had a special skin suit and everything, he was going faster for the power than what he imagined he would. So actually he ended up, because he couldn't see his power, riding at a much lower power, just going off the lap times, and reckons he could have gone quite a bit faster. In the end, he only did about 360 watts.
Only.
I mean, it's more than I could do, but he's an athlete that believes he's capable of doing sort of 400 plus watts. So.
I'd like him to have another go at it, actually.
Yeah.
Because he did say, didn't he, afterwards, he went, I could have gone quite a bit faster. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right, all the sort of tech and stuff Campenaert has got going on, and going to Aguascalientes, which is at altitude, makes it a little bit easier. Do you think you can do it, John?
Well, do you know what? I think currently his performance, his fitness, and all of these bits of marginal gains which he's had done, I think he could, but there's something which stands out for me is the fact he's doing it at altitude, and that is always going to cast, not a shadow of doubt, but it's always going to be, well, do you know what? His hour record, if it's successful, isn't comparable to those of Wiggins, Dowsett, all of these people because they did it at sea level. You know, I'm not taking anything away from Campenaert. If you go to altitude, you have to get used to riding at altitude. So there is also a negative effect there if you don't adapt to it. Yeah. I personally love the hour record. It's like the kilometre time trial. It's the ultimate feat, really, of pushing yourself to the limit, you know, for that given period. So I hope he does it, and I hope more pros then take it on board and try and smash him. Yeah, personally,
I think based on the maths and the numbers that I've seen, if he can produce 370 watts plus, I reckon he will do the hour record. His power at sea level you'd expect it to be around 400 plus for an hour, in terms of how good he is and on a world class time trialist. But it's that fact that he'll lose a bit because there's less oxygen at altitude. But yeah. It's a trade-off, but we want to know what you think.
Yeah, he's been preparing for it for a while now, hasn't he? And he hasn't raced that much this year, so I reckon he's just been living in a lab, just churning it away hour after hour. You know, who knows though? Yeah, but get involved in the comments. Will he break it or will he not? Stay tuned. Legendary Italian saddle manufacturer Selle Italia have just released some new saddles, haven't they?
Yeah, it's called the SLR Boost. It's a short-nosed version of the much-loved and well-established Selle Italia SLR. It's 2.5 centimetres shorter.
And apparently pretty lightweight too, because the Carbino Flow version weighs in at, get this, 129 grams.
Yeah, it's like, now short-nosed saddles have been growing in popularity, and the SLR Boost is going to be available in 4 different versions. So you've got a carbon-railed version at top of the range, titanium-railed, a manganese-railed, and also a women's-specific one, which is nice to see. It's got a bit of additional padding on it and also has a titanium rail.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that one. The folks at Wahoo, they've just revealed 2 limited edition colours for the Element Bolt models of GPS units. So they come in a kind of darkish blue and a pinky magenta colour, because apparently members of the community were desperately screaming out to have something that would match up with either their bike or their kit. A nice little touch, that. Also, friends of the channel, Orbea, they've just released a couple of new models of Orcas, which feature the new SRAM Force ETAP Axis group set. Well, they look good, don't they? Yeah, they look really. It's funny, isn't it, how brands are releasing things earlier and earlier than ever. I mean, we're in, April, and already that's basically a 2020 bike.
Yeah.
And finally, Belgian brand Cyclo Club Marcel have released a clothing range as kind of a homage, really, to an absolute legend of the sport and a real hero of mine, Frank van den Broeke. So if you want a bit of casual gear to show off, well, you're a cycling fan but kind of a bit understated, then head on over there. Of course, if nothing there tickles your fancy, why not check out the GCN shop?
Well, indeed. Get one of these fine hoodies for yourself.
Anyway, more tech next week.
It's now time for Screw Riding Upgrades by Upgrades, where you submit pictures or videos or whatever you want. Before, it could even be a drawing.
Drawing. Maybe a brass rubbing.
Before and after of your upgrades, so with a chance to win the ultimate prize, the GCN Capron.
It's a new one, that as well. Have you seen that?
They've changed it. I've not been here for 2 months? I've not seen this.
2 months.
What have they done?
Been on the longest holiday ever.
Capron 2.0.
Anyway, right, last week then we need to announce the winner, don't we, really, from last week?
I want to hear. What was it?
Right, it was between David and John, and winning with over 60% of the votes was actually John. So get in touch with us on Facebook to arrange delivery of the Capron. Right then, so let's go on to this week's contenders, shall we? Contenders, ready. Right, first up this week is Jeff. Now, 5 years ago, Jeff was moving to California after living in London. Jeff took a break from packing to check out a bike shop that moved into the neighbourhood and stumbled across the Eddy Merckx frame set. The frame was Jeff's size and he quickly bought it, man after my own heart. Jeff picked up a Columbus 1-inch carbon fork. He had the fork and stem painted to match the frame. Now, Jeff had planned to get the 11-speed SRAM Red ETAP, but the Axis launch surprised him and he had to have it. Topped off with Envy wheels, bars and stems. All finished, the bike weighs 8.1 kilos. Nice. Look at it.
I really like that chain set.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, I'm not a fan of one bike. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
You're not a fan of one bike?
No.
No, I just think that chain set is really nice. We've got it's a bit of a retro and modern thing going on, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, I understand. I just want to get that clear, actually. I understand the practicalities of one bike and everything, but I'm just a traditionalist, Ollie.
Yeah. Well,
I like innovation too, so.
Well, Jeff is up against David, who's in his back garden.
Oh, again, poor description of location. Sorry.
Where is your back garden, though, David? That's what we want to know. Anyway, David moved into his house, and there was a small shed already there in his back garden. But unfortunately, it was almost falling over. And he used it to store his massive collection of tools. David's bikes, however, were stored in the house, and all his indoor training was done in the living room with the door open, with his poor wife all wrapped up in a blanket, watching TV.
Feel ashamed of yourself, David.
Yeah. Now, after a winter of this, David was given the go-ahead for a dedicated pain cave plus bike workshop.
Lucky guy.
He's now spent a winter training in his new dedicated pain cave plus bike workshop, and with the help of GCN videos, nice David,
yeah.
He's used the workshop space to fully strip down his bike and rebuild it after winter. Let's have a look at his shed.
Right, there's his shed. It's like a Celeste shed. How funny is that? Two pretty contrasting upgrades there, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Who's it going to be then, mate? Jeff's Merckx or
It's not up to us. It's not up to us. It's up to you
Jeff
guys.
Merckx, David's
Vote.
shed.
Vote
Up there.
here.
He's forgotten which side it is. Vote's up there.
It's
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, bike of the week time now. And well, first up, we need to announce last week's winner, don't we? And it was between the Stalk of Marta Bastianelli and the Canyon of Mathieu van der Poel.
Who won that?
Well, 68% of them voted for Mathieu van der Poel, so congratulations. But the real winner was Bastianelli, because let's face it, she won the Tour of Flanders. And well, van der Poel, you didn't, mate.
I know what I'd rather win.
Yeah, exactly. Bike of the week.
This week, we have got two bikes from the Vuelta Pay Vasco. First up, we've got a Geos Aerolite from the Colombian team, Manzana Postobon.
What is that?
That's how I've been practicing, that's how you say it.
Right, okay.
It's Manzana Postobon.
Nice.
Anyway, it's got Shimano Dual Race on it, Dual Race wheels as well, and it's in this really nice blue paint job.
Tell you what, Geos, they're a bit like Bianchi, really renowned for those blue paint jobs. Just putting it out there.
Yeah. Well, it's up against BH Ultralight of Team Burgos. BH bucks the trend somewhat because it uses FSA K-Force Wii group set. You don't see that much in pro racing. Great group set, but it's not as common as the big three. And it has Vision wheels as well. Who's it going to be?
I'm going to vote for the Manzana Postobon.
It's Manzana Postobon.
Really like him. Yeah, vote up there. Next week, we will reveal.
It is that side, isn't it?
It is that side.
Still that side, okay.
Right, Bike Vault time. The moment of the show where we rate your bike nice or super nice. But how do they get their bike in the Bike Vault, Ollie? Tell them.
They submit them using the uploader. Link below.
Right, okay. Who's first up this week then in the Bike Vault?
We've got Yuri, who's in the Port de Soler in Mallorca.
Oh, very nice.
One of my favourite places. That is a beautiful Villia 110.
That is exactly what we spoke about earlier on, isn't it? Like what Pizzato used to
with
ride.
the chromium kind of deal on there. I love the way that the chrome on the fork matches the chrome on the integrated stem. That's cracking. I like that. And then the other chrome details as well. Bit of Italian flag on there.
Yeah.
Lightweight Meilenstein Obermeier.
Oh, sehr schön.
Ja.
This is my Lieblings wheels. Right, he's got Continental Competition tyres on there too.
Fantastic.
That is a really nice looking bike.
Super nice
isn't
for
it?
me.
Yeah,
Easy.
do you know what? Super nice. Right, let's ring. There we are. First ring of the bell.
Yeah. Next up.
Next up is Devin from Worcester Park in Greater London. That's a good description, isn't it, where you come from. This bike was on the second episode of the GCN Tech Show. I do remember this one. It's the Black Mamba. It only got a nice, though. I remember that.
You love a big black mamba, don't you?
Yeah. And well, Devin has said they took size advice and replaced the bar tape with black bar tape. The bike has had loads of upgrades since too. And do you know what? If that bike originally just got a nice, well, for me now that is a super nice.
Yeah. I mean,
Look at it.
a lot of black going on.
Yeah.
It's good. That's super nice for me.
Yeah, super nice. Devin, nice one, and welcome back into the crib. Or something like that.
Next up, quite an unusual bike.
Oh my word!
David from Basildon has got his
Essex.
Kirk Precision. Oh, Basildon. What? That's how they say it, isn't it?
I'm not getting involved.
Okay. He's just finished restoring his cast magnesium alloy Kirk Precision road bike.
Tell you what, that is a classic.
It is, isn't it?
Do you know what? He was a bit cheeky actually, was David, because he said it's about as 1980s as Tom Cruise driving a DeLorean whilst listening to Madonna on a Sony Walkman. Ollie asked Jon to explain. Walkmans. I'll show you one.
Is
I've
Walkman like a mini disc?
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got one on my desk. It's got the aha tape in it. Right. Either way, it's what's it got? It's got.
I'm more of a Flock of Seagulls fan myself.
Yeah. Ran so far. Right, okay, so it's got Shimano 600 trickle. What on earth are those cranks? Look at the cranks.
Yeah, PMPL cranks.
L cranks, yeah. Oh, one of those Campenaert water bottles, aero.
That is.
Oh,
That's a museum piece. That's
that
super
is, yeah.
nice. That's
David,
just wicked.
invite us out there to check that out because so many people need to see this. There was a team racing back in the late 80s. Kirk Precision Racing, something like that. Dave Mann. He was a big old guy. Used to ride.
Are you gonna ring the bell or what?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Super nice, David.
Next up.
Seriously, email us.
Next up,
Right,
Donovan. Do you reckon it's the Donovan, as
What,
in the
from
19? No,
In-Betweeners?
the pop star.
Jason Donovan.
No, not Jason Donovan. Donovan, as in the. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I haven't got that on cassette on my Walkman.
No.
Right, okay. Where's Donovan from?
He's from Crimgold Park in Maryland.
Oh, again. We're not going down that road again.
Why is everyone in the bike vault from Maryland?
Do you remember the guy from Maryland sent us that seasoning? Do you remember that?
He did.
Yeah. So maybe Donovan can
nice.
send us in that seasoning. It's like crab seasoning, wasn't
We've
it?
got 1973 Royce Union.
Oh,
I mean, that's a. Oh God, we've had some crackers this
that's
week.
a nice looking. Do you know what? I like that bike. It's like it's not molested, is it? You know, it's just like it's been left in its natural state.
It's just been well looked after. I
Yeah.
really like the pannier rack on the back as well.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
1973.
Really nice.
Great looking bike that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Should we give it super nice?
It's a super nice.
Yeah,
isn't it?
because it's in such good condition for 1973.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Fine vintage. Right then. Who do we have finally this week, Ollie?
We've got Vincent from Montreal, Canada.
It's probably Vincent, isn't it? Because
Vincent.
Vincent.
He's got a giant TCX cross bike.
Oh.
And he says spring is finally here.
Yeah, look at the state of that weather. That's like the apocalypse here, isn't it?
That's like White Walkers are coming and descending upon where you live. They're going to kill everything.
Yetis.
Reanimate your
Yetis,
corpse.
polar bears, this, that, the other. If that was in Britain, well, Britain would just shut, wouldn't it? Either way, that's the Giant. That's a great looking bike, isn't it? How bright it is, that paintwork against the, well, white backdrop.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he's got an ass saver on there as well.
Do you know what's a little bit frustrating for me, Ollie?
What?
Water bottle.
It's kind of hanging in, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
It's like
not-
half in,
Yeah.
half out. What's it doing?
And it's a bit of a shame really because Vincent, he's obviously taken with him that little like bit of wood to support the bike.
Yeah.
Do you know what as well? That rear derailleur
Do you know what? I
cable
can't
is a
see
bit...
the wood for the trees. Where's the wood?
I set him up, you knock him down. Yeah.
Right.
But look at the cable of the rear mech as well. That's pretty long, isn't it? It's a big old bend.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really sharp curve. I don't know, maybe it works fine. Don't know. But
It's the I can't get past that bottle. That's going to
Yeah.
give me sleepless nights. It's half in. It's half out. What's it doing there?
I don't know.
Where's the other bottle?
ready
There's
to
so many
eject.
questions.
Yeah. So little time.
It's
Nice bike?
Nice.
Nice bike. So you know what to do. If you've forgotten already, use the upload tool down there in the description. Upload picture of your bike. Tell us where you came from. Not just in my back garden.
David.
Naughty. Well, there we are, mate. Nearly time for the end of the show.
I know. Sad, but don't be sad because I've got to go now because
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Off
off-
anywhere nice?
off to Roubaix. Got a date with Sags.
Bit weird sounding that.
Yeah.
What, the thing?
For me, it's gonna be great.
Don't do that, please. Right, so either way, stay tuned because weirdly enough, he's actually being serious. So yeah, remember to like and share this video with your friends. And also, if you've not subscribed, why not? Make sure you go and do that. And also click that little notification bell so you get a little bing each time we put up a video.
Yeah, and to watch another video, click on Jon's face.
And to click on another video, click on Ollie's face.